Okay, guys. Okay. Now understand one thing, guys. Okay. Today we are doing something very important, and that is absolutely registration, right? That is registration. Now understand one thing, that when I say registration, correct? Now understand, if this question is asked in the exam, it's anywhere between 5 to 7 marks, right? Very important chapter, especially section 22, right? 24, where you basically asked which are the cases where you become liable to register. Guys, my voice is absolutely sound and clear. Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Okay, lovely. Okay, it's clear, it's audible. Okay, fantastic. So guys, today we will try to wrap up as much as we can, but definitely, okay, one thing that we are definitely doing today is 22, 24, 23, then we are doing 25, and we are doing 27, right? 26 and 27, right? Yeah. Okay, we're definitely doing and touching upon these parts. If possible, we'll also wrap up 28. I feel the only section that might remain is 29 and 30, correct? Okay, तो वही अगर रह जाएगा शायद, that will be only thing that will be left. Okay, but don't you worry, guys, we will keep it up. we will figure it out. Okay, absolutely. Okay, I'll possibly just record a separate session for this, and for that matter even schedule 3, that is 7 subsection 2, which is pending, and we will wrap it up accordingly. Okay, perfect, guys. Now guys, let's without wasting any time, let's start with section 22. So guys, understand 22 and 24, they talk about, okay, 22 and 24 per se, okay, they talk about liable to register, right? Correct. 23 is where you talk about when you are exempted from registration. 25 is procedure, 26 is deemed registration, 27 is NRTP and CTP, 28 is amendment in a registration certificate, and 29 and 30, my dear friends, understand one thing, 29 is cancellation, and 30 is, my dear friends, revocation, correct? Yes. Okay, so let's start and let's wrap it up, my dear friends. Let's do it. Section 22. Let's first focus on 22. 22 basically has 22.1, 22.2, 22.3, and 22.4. Make sense? Yes. 22.1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now understand. Okay, now a lot of work has to be done in 22.1. Like, this is one of the most important sections. आप समझो कि if when it comes to registration chapter, 90% of the questions are related to this, right? Yeah, let's do it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, guys. Let's hear it. Acha, by the way, did you all solve registration exemption के questions? Tell me. मैं उत्सुक हूँ. I'm absolutely curious to know. Did you all solve registration के MCQs which were there on the Telegram section? Tell me, guys. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, Lakshmi, first do registration, then we will do returns and e-way bill. Beta, don't worry so much. Don't worry, Lakshmi. I'm there. I'm not going anywhere. I will not leave you guys. Okay. Once we are done with this, I also have another program in mind where every 15 days, okay, both my Hindi students and my South Indian students, for both of them, I am going to keep Vivas on Zoom. I'm going to keep Vivas on Zoom. Okay, that will help you, my dear friends. Okay, keep revisiting GST. Okay, and also help you understand where you are doing mistakes and where you are not. Right? Because when I will ask you a question, you need to answer me. Period. Right? So that pressure of answering and saving yourself from embarrassment will create a lot of action in reality, and that will help you make GST a cakewalk. Is that very clear, guys? Okay, friends, now let's start with GST registration chapter. Okay, my dear friends, section 22 subsection 1. Let's hit it, my dear friends. Let's hit it. Come on. It says, in current financial year, if the aggregate turnover exceeds 20 lakh, 40 lakhs or 10 lakhs, okay, 20, 40 or 10, 20, 40 or 10, then you are definitely liable to register in that state, okay, where he makes taxable supplies. Where you are liable to register in that state where he makes taxable supplies. Simple. So if I am making taxable supplies in Mumbai, I need to register myself in Maharashtra. Right? Correct. Now, understand one thing, that when we are checking the threshold limit, what are we checking? We are checking aggregate turnover. And as you know, my dear friends, in aggregate turnover, the definition of aggregate turnover is, my dear friends, exactly shame to shame. What, my dear friends? Shame to shame. Okay? The way you can see it in composition scheme. So, what did we learn in aggregate turnover? Because I will not, my dear friends, make the mistake of assuming things that you remember, because you don't remember what you ate the last night. So how can you remember what we did 3 decades back? That means 3 days back, right? Tell me. Okay, in aggregate turnover, what did I tell you? What is the first thought that should come to your mind? Very simple, my dear friends. The first thought that should really come to your mind is aggregate turnover is equals to outward supplies. Aggregate turnover is equals to outward supplies. So all sorts of outward supplies you will include in your aggregate turnover, be taxable, exempt, non-taxable, export, intra, everything you will cover. Yes or no, my dear friend? I told you that or not? Only thing that you will exclude, my dear friends, is what? GST. Only thing that you will exclude is what? GST. Correct? That's it. That's the only thing, my dear friends, you are going to exclude from your turnover, because that does not belong to you, right? Also, inward supply where taxes payable as per RCA. Okay, in composition scheme, there's one more thing that we always excluded, my dear friends, and that was what? Interest or discount on loans, advances and deposits. On loans, advances and deposits. Are you getting it? Yes. That is something that we were always excluding, but my dear friends, there is a small change. Okay, and the small change is, my dear friends, very simple. The small change is that while calculating aggregate turnover, okay, interest or discount on loans to be included. Understand one thing, my dear friends, very clearly. And what is that? Very simple. Very simple, my dear friends. Okay, the only thing that it means is that here you have to include it, in composition scheme you will exclude it. So in registration you will include it, in composition you will exclude it. In registration you will include it, in composition you will exclude it. Okay, so that's the only thing that you need to take into consideration. Otherwise everything is one and the same. Is that very clear? Yes. Okay, yes. Understand one thing, one more. When it comes to 10 lakhs, Okay, I should remember that this limit is applicable only in 4 states: Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland. Bola Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland. Bola Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland. Bola Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland. Tripura, Nagaland. Are Tripura, Nagaland. Are you getting it? Yes. MMT. Okay. So with the help of MMT, we went to Nagaland. The common part is all are northeastern states, but only thing that you need to remember is that in northeast there is M for Meghalaya also, and Meghalaya will not come. Megha no, Mani Mizo, Megha no, Mani Mizo. Are you getting it? Yes. Okay. So please understand that, my dear friends. I hope you all have understood. Okay. Absolutely correct. Okay, absolutely correct. Now, my dear friends, I hope you all have understood that part very well. That in current financial year, firstly, if my aggregate turnover, in which I will include everything, all types of supplies, okay, if it exceeds 10, 20 or 40 lakhs, very simple, okay, where 10 lakhs is applicable to MMT Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland, okay, then in that case, I will be liable to register in that state where he makes taxable supplies. Is that very clear? Perfect. Okay. Is that very clear? Perfect. Okay. Now, understand one thing, my dear friends. Okay. Before I go somewhere else, let me just focus on this part. Okay guys, understand one thing. When it comes to 40 lakhs, okay, understand one thing, that if in current financial year the person is exclusively supplying goods and its aggregate turnover exceeds 40 lakhs, okay, understand the exceptions of it. Very simple. Okay, firstly, understand that if I'm a service provider, 40 lakhs is not applicable to me. No. If I am a supplier of goods, 40 lakhs is applicable to me. But if I am a supplier of goods and service, again 40 lakhs is not applicable to me. So 40 lakhs is applicable only when you are exclusively supplying goods. Only and only, friends, only supplying goods. Only supplying goods. Got it? Yes. ठीक. If I am only supplying goods, 40 lakhs is applicable to me. But understand, okay, there are 4 exceptions to it. Exception number 1, compulsory registration under section 24. Compulsory registration under section 24. What do you mean by that, my dear friends? That if you are covered under section 24, you have to compulsorily register. Nothing doing, neither you will get 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs. No personal exemption benefit will be given to you. No personal exemption benefit will be given to you. First. Second, if you voluntarily register, if you yourself, with your own feeling, with your own willingness, you only go and register. You only go and register, my dear friends. Do you have any sense? Do you have any sense, batch? That you are only yourself wanting to, go in the fire and experience the hotness, right? You want to yourself get into the GST law ka purview. You want to yourself fall under the ambit of GST law. By voluntarily taking registration, there is no point we will give you 40 lakhs ka limit, period. Okay, next. Supplier of ice cream, tobacco, pan masala. Supplier of ice cream, tobacco, pan masala. Are you getting it? Yes. And at the same time, fly ash bricks, bricks of fossil meals, building bricks and earthen on roofing tiles. Okay. So exactly these goods are exactly those goods which are already, okay. Understand, my dear friends. Already listed under composition scheme. Yes, you cannot manufacture these goods. If you're manufacturing these goods, Definitely. If you are manufacturing these goods, definitely, my dear friends, you cannot avail composition scheme, or if you have started that and you've already availed, then you will get out of composition scheme. The composition scheme shall lapse. Correct? Yes, you can remember these things. Can you remember these things? Are you able to recollect it? Kesarla, Sneha, Harshita, Bala, अपना कौन है वो, दिव्या बजाज, निकिता बजाज, बताइए. Yes, you all are able to remember this. Please comment on the chat section. Go ahead. Yes. When you just type yes sir, yes Nisha, yes Neha, yes Kesarla, yes Badrul, right? Fantastic. Okay, but understand one thing, there you had a word called manufacturer, but here you have the word called supplier. So understand, be it manufacturer, be it trader, if you are dealing in these goods, irrespective of whether you are a manufacturer or trader, I don't give a damn. You are dealing in these goods, you don't get 40 lakhs limit. So then I will not get any limit, neither 40 nor 10, neither 40 nor 10. No, you will not get any. No, that's not the right answer, my dear friends. You will not just get 40 lakhs. You will not get 40 lakhs. That's it. Either you will now have to settle with 20 or 10. You will either have to settle for 20 or 10, whichever is applicable. So if you are under MMT Nagaland, 10. If you are other than that states, 20. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. Okay. Yes, that's a classic example, Bala. Okay. And the last is, my dear friends, there are certain states. So these are certain goods which are prohibited with 40 lakhs. So even if you are exclusive supplier of goods, but those goods are these goods, not applicable. 40 lakhs not applicable, settle with 20 or 10. But my dear friends, when it comes to certain states, so all northeastern states except Assam, all northeastern states except Assam, plus Uttarakhand, okay, Telangana, Puducherry. So understand one thing. If you remember, my dear friends, okay, then even in case of composition scheme, when it came to 75 lakhs limit, do you remember how did I make you remember all these states? I helped you remember these things by telling you all northeastern states except Assam plus Uttarakhand. That's how I made you remember things. And now with respect to 40 lakh limit ka exception, right? Understand one thing, that all northeastern states except Assam plus UTP. You know, so if you forget the password, okay, if you forget a password, तो क्या आता है OTP? So here you will remember UTP. U is Uttarakhand, you already remember that because of composition scheme. And T and P only you have to remember. T is Telangana, P is Puducherry. Now T is Telangana and not Tamil Nadu. That also has a logic. Tamil Nadu is an old state. Telangana is a newly formed state. In a newly formed state, you cannot have a limit as big as 40 lakhs, because understand, the higher the limit, the more number of people will be covered under the exemption. That is not good for a newly formed state, because a newly formed state has a lot of expenses to make and they need to have a certain source of revenue, one of them major being SGST. So which is why, my dear friends, it was very important, my dear friends, right, that Telangana opts out of 40 lakhs limit. So either 20 lakhs is applicable or 10 lakhs in that case. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Okay, so it's Uttarakhand, Telangana. P for Punjab तो नहीं आएगा बेटा, पुदुचेरी ही आएगा, because it's a small union territory. It cannot afford to have 40 lakhs limit. Otherwise, the entire union territory might as well fall under that exemption. Okay, that's it, right? And Assam is created as an exception again because Assam is a very big state. Understand, it is one of the biggest states in Northeast and it is one of the most developed states in Northeast. So Assam will always go for 40 lakhs in case of registration limit. Assam will always go for 150 lakhs in case of composition scheme. Treat it like a big state even though it is in Northeast. Very simple, guys. Okay, very simple, and that's it. That's it. That's all I wanted to tell you all, guys. That's all I want to tell you all. Okay, perfect. So I'm done with this, guys. I'm definitely done with this. Okay, this is perfect. Now I want to tell you all something very important, guys. Okay, now the only thing understand that I want to tell you all is that it's extremely important for you to understand, my dear friends. Okay, the three instances that I will be explaining you. The three instances that I will be explaining you. And which is that? Which is that, my dear friends? Example number 1, 2, 3. Example number 1, 2, 3. Okay. On these, okay, understand, on these three instances only, my dear friends, you will be asked a lot of questions. So you be very, very clear about what am I doing with you. Okay. So instance number 1, understand, instance number 1. Okay. We have, let's say, for example, just a second. Instance number 1, we have A Limited and we have A Limited. So this is a branch in Maharashtra. Okay, and this is a branch in, let's say, Manipur. Okay, and okay, they are dealing in taxable supply of goods. Both are dealing in taxable supply of goods. Now understand one thing, that the aggregate turnover here will be what? Will be summation of obviously both the turnovers. So it will be, so if I tell you the Maharashtra branch did, let's say, 15 lakhs, the Manipur branch, let's say, did 30 lakhs. So I will say 45 lakhs is the aggregate turnover. 45 lakhs is the aggregate turnover. Correct, Prashant? Correct, Prashant? Yes. Now my question is, what is the threshold limit here? What is the threshold limit here? So for Maharashtra, I will say it is 40 lakhs. And for Manipur, I will say 10 lakhs. Correct? Correct? Right? So now understand that I cannot understand, I'm talking about the same person, A Limited and A Limited. And understand one thing, that the day A Limited becomes liable to register, all its branches have to get registered. All its branches, because it's an aggregate turnover. So it will have one aggregate turnover and it will have one threshold limit, right? It will have one aggregate turnover and it will have one applicable threshold limit. Is that very clear? Yes. Now you tell me what is that? You tell me what is that? What is that applicable threshold limit? Will it be applicable? Will it be applicable to 40 lakhs or will it be subject to 10 lakhs? So the answer is it will be subject to 10 lakhs. Sir, why, sir? Why, sir? Why, sir? Why did we take whichever is lower? Understand, whichever is lower will be taken into consideration only when, my dear friends, you are making firstly taxable supplies. So it's very important for you to first make taxable supplies. Okay, so you have to make taxable supplies. ठीक है, तो first part वो रहा. Second, it's very important, my dear friends, for you to also understand that both the states, so one of them should have higher limit and the other should have lower limit. One should have higher limit and the other should have lower limit. Got it? And both should have what? Taxable supplies. One should be higher limit, one should be subject to lower threshold limit. In that case, government says, since both have taxable supplies, we will have to take into consideration both the states and we will take whichever is lower, and which is why applicable threshold limit will be 10 lakhs. So tomorrow, let's say for example, the turnover was just 30 lakhs, right? Let's say this was 15, correct? So even in that case, my dear friends, understand, okay, as soon as you exceed 10 lakhs, as soon as you exceed 10 lakhs, my dear friends. Very simple. Very simple. In that case, understand one thing. Okay. As soon as you exceed 10 lakhs, you will be liable to register both in Maharashtra and Manipur. Maharashtra and Manipur. Is that very clear? Correct. Correct. Okay, that's it. Okay. Next situation. A Limited. A Limited. A Limited is in Maharashtra. A Limited is in Gujarat. Okay, the turnover of this is, let's say, 30 lakhs. This is 20 lakhs. Here it is selling, okay, garments, kapade, and here it is selling petrol. Now understand, garments is taxable supply. Okay, taxable supply of goods, and petrol is non-taxable supply of goods. Okay, so garments is taxable supply of goods, petrol is non-taxable supply of goods. Got it? Then in that case, my dear friends, okay, I want you to understand one thing. I want you to understand one very important thing, that both of them are big states. Both of them are indulging into taxable supply of goods. Correct? 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 Correct. Both of them are, okay, taxable supply of goods. Now understand, sorry, both of them are supplying goods, right? Now understand, so they will attract 40 lakhs. Okay, the threshold limit, the individual threshold limit will be what? What will be the individual threshold limit? Tell me. 40 and 40, because both of them are exclusively supplying goods, correct? So 40 lakhs is the applicable threshold limit, right? So if I say the aggregate turnover here is 50 lakhs, right? 30 and 20, 50, and the applicable threshold limit here is 40 lakhs, because both of them are big states where 40 lakhs can be applicable. Now, okay, is it liable to register? Is A Limited liable to register? And if yes, then which branch of A Limited? Is it Maharashtra, is it Gujarat, or is it both? Right? So ऊपर understand, A Limited when it comes to both Maharashtra and Manipur are liable to register. ठीक है? यहाँ पे क्या होगा? यहाँ पे what will happen? Will only Maharashtra get registered? Will only Gujarat, or both? Both, because simple है, it is an aggregate turnover which has 50 lakhs and applicable threshold is 40, and you calculate your aggregate turnover on an all India basis. Now tell me, which state is liable to register? Is it M, or is it G, or is it both? Please write in the comment section, and I would really like you to read the first para that I emphasized on. Please go ahead and write your answers, guys. Please go ahead and write your answers. I'll just come in a while and just pour in some water. Okay. Yes, go ahead. No, Kesarla, you are wrong in that case. Understand. What is the first thing that I made you all write here? You will check the threshold limit. So to make sure that you become liable to register, government said you include everything and anything on earth. You include everything. So government wanted to exhaust your limit to ASAP. So it said you include this also and that also. You taxable, exempt, everything you include. But you will register only in that state where you make taxable supplies. You register only in that state where you make taxable supplies, because understand, it is absolutely a matter of common sense. There is no point, Kesarla, of registering myself in Gujarat. Why will I register myself in Gujarat, beta? Why will I register myself in Gujarat? Why on earth will I do that? Why will I register here? I am selling petrol. Will I collect GST on petrol? If I will not collect, will I pay it on petrol? No. So neither I will collect GST and neither I will pay GST. Simple. In that case, why will I register under GST law? Right? So you will register only in that case where you make taxable supplies, and hence, my dear friends, okay, you will register only and only, my dear friends, in Maharashtra. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Okay. So it's very important for you to understand that you will register. Okay. It's very important for you to understand that it's Maharashtra, nothing else. Okay. Done hai dosto. Done hai. Okay. Sure. ठीक है. Next is the last game, my dear friends. The combination of example 1 and 2. The combination of example 1 and 2. So for example, in that case, again we have, okay, A Limited in the house. Again there is A Limited. Again there is A Limited. Okay, now understand one thing. Okay, understand one thing, my dear friends. A Limited is in Maharashtra. A Limited is in Manipur. This guy is selling taxable supply of goods. This guy is into non-taxable supply of goods. Right? This guy makes 30 lakhs of sales, and this branch makes 30 lakhs of sales. Right? Now you tell me, what is the aggregate turnover? What is the aggregate turnover? फटाफट से लिखो. Tell me, what is the aggregate turnover? 60 lakhs. Because you include anything and everything in aggregate turnover. अरे aggregate turnover पगली. अरे निशा मेगर, aggregate turnover बेटा, not threshold limit. Aggregate turnover. Okay. 40 lakhs, 60 lakhs beta. You will include taxable supplies and non-taxable supplies, everything. Bala, come on yaar, come on Bala. Next. Now what will be the applicable threshold limit? Right. What will it be? Will it be, understand, this is 40 and this is 10. What will it be? Will it be 40 or 10? 40 or 10? 40 or 10? 40 or 10? Because there is, if there is a difference, certainly it is. Certainly it is. Got it? Okay. Now let me tell you that here you cannot say that if this is 40, if this is 10, sir, we will again do whichever is lower. No, we cannot do this. We cannot do this, my dear friends. We cannot do this. Do you understand? Do you understand, my dear friends? We cannot do this. This is absolutely impossible. This is next to impossible. Why? Because understand, whichever is lower possible, only if you are, instead of non-taxable supplies, this lower, the state with lower threshold limit, the state with lower threshold limit, the state with lower threshold limit would be making taxable supplies. Only then it would have been whichever is lower. But if he is making non-taxable supplies, right? If he is making non-taxable supplies, then in that case, my dear friends, understand one thing. Understand one thing very, very, very clearly. Very clearly. That how can you reduce the threshold limit of a taxpayer, especially when the state with lower threshold limit is supplying non-taxable goods. Is supplying non-taxable goods. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Yes. It cannot happen. Government did not want to do this injustice. So whenever the lower, understand this very clearly, understand this condition very clearly. Whenever, the state with lower threshold limit, whenever the state with lower threshold limit, right? Understand, whenever a state with lower threshold limit, right, makes non-taxable supplies, makes non-taxable supplies, in that case, my dear friends, understand one thing, in that case, you will not say whichever is lower. You won't say whichever is lower. Is that very clear? Yes. Okay, so this is applicable threshold limit, my dear friends. So here it will be 40 lakhs. You will be liable to register. But question is again, where? Maharashtra, where I am making taxable supplies, or Manipur, where I am making non-taxable supplies? Tell me. Maharashtra, Manipur. Maharashtra, Manipur. Tell me. That's absolutely correct, guys. That's absolutely correct, Maharashtra, because my dear friends, you will register only in that state where you are making taxable supplies. Got it? So first question, whichever lower will happen only when in both the states there are taxable supplies. One state is attracting higher threshold limit, another state is attracting lower threshold limit. It can be 40-20, it can be 20-10, it can be 40-10, anything. Whichever is lower will happen when both of the states are attracting lower threshold, are supplying taxable supply of goods. One is at higher threshold limit, one is at lower threshold limit, right? Second, understand if both are of same threshold limit, like Maharashtra goods are 40 lakhs, but one is supplying only taxable goods, one is supplying only non-taxable goods. In that case, you will register only in that state which is making taxable supplies. You will not register in that state where you are making either exempt supplies or non-taxable supplies. Third, in one state you are supplying taxable goods or service, in another you are making non-taxable supplies. First thought very clear, that you will register only in that state where you are making taxable supplies. But also at the same time, one of them is having higher threshold limit, another of them is having lower threshold limit. So if the state which is attracting lower threshold limit, that state is the same state which is making non-taxable supplies, whichever is lower nahi hoga, whichever is lower nahi hoga, arre whichever is lower nahi hoga, no, right? Perfect. Okay, and my dear friends, in that case, 40 lakhs limit, whatever is the higher threshold limit, for example 40-10 40, 20-10 20 will trigger. Is that very clear? Please remember this in your mind. And make sure, my dear friends, that you are very clear, very clear with respect to this. Perfect. In fact, just a second, my dear friends, if I'm not wrong, no. please focus on question number. This is a beautiful question, guys. Question number 24 from my Q&A. Clearly you can do that. Like it will just help you understand a lot of things. Question number 24. ठीक है? Perfect. Okay, guys. Okay. ठीक है? Next, my dear friends, is okay, section 22 subsection 2. Section 22 subsection 2. Okay. My dear friends, when it comes to section 22 subsection 2, okay, it's a very simple section. All it says is that in case you were already registered in previous tax laws, so you are already registered, my dear friends, okay, as a service provider under service tax law, as a trader under VAT law, as a manufacturer under excise law, then understand you don't have to see the threshold limit, right? You don't have to see the threshold limit, my dear friend. All you have to do is very simple. Just focus that from the appointed date, that is 22nd June 2017, 1st July को GST implement हुआ, 22nd June को ही, understand, some 8-9 days before only, okay, 8 days before only, government said that listen, all those who are registered under previous tax laws have to compulsorily get registered under GST law with effect from appointed date. Simple. Second, 22 subsection 3. 22 subsection 3, my dear friends, talks about transferring business, okay, in terms of, okay, very simple, and that is business concern or a going concern, or by the way of business on succession. So for example, Jethalal is basically transferring his business to Tapu, or Jethalal is now transferring business to Croma. Tapu, succession. Croma, Vijay Sales, Sarvana stores, going concern. Is that very clear? Yes. Now when will either Croma or Tapu will be liable to register when? With effect from, my dear friends, date of transfer of business. And you know why will they have to register? Because understand that in the GSTIN, the 10-digit GSTIN is a PAN based number. Now it has PAN in it, where the first 2 digits are state and the next 10 digits represents PAN. Now understand one thing, that initially if Jethalal was the transferor, it was his PAN, Jethalal's PAN. But now it will be the PAN of transfer, that is Tapu. So Tapu will need to register so that the GSTIN has his PAN. Got it? That's it. That's all I wanted to state, my dear friends. Perfect. But very important to understand that he will be liable. So transferee will be liable to register, but with effect from which date? Date of transfer of business. ठीक है? Perfect. ठीक है? Perfect. Okay. Next. 22 subsection 4, my dear friends. Very simple. There is A limited, there is B limited. There is A limited, there is B limited. They both merge into AB limited. And AB limited is liable to register with effect from the date when ROC issues COI. When registrar of companies issues certificate of incorporation. Is that very clear? Yes. So understand, A and B limited will now become AB limited. Understand, only and only. Okay, with effect from which date? When? Perfect. When ROC issues COI. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Perfect. Okay. So please understand, in 22.4, 22.3 and in 22.2 also understand that apart from understanding the situation, when will it get triggered, It's also important for you to understand when it will become liable to register. When it will become liable to register. So 22.2 appointed date, 22.3 date when the business is transferred, 22.4 when the merged entity gets certificate of incorporation from ROC. That's it. So please remember these two things and you are done with it, right? You are done with it. So that is section 22 for you, my dear friends. 22 is done. 22 is done. 22 is done, right? You could do it easily, guys. You could do it, right? Absolutely clear. Okay. Just one thing, my dear friends. Tell me one thing. Just a couple of questions to be answered. Tell me, friends, what will happen here? What will happen here? Section 27. Sorry, question 27, 1 and 2. Hira, a supplier in Haryana, is exclusively engaged in supply of potatoes produced. Okay, एक सेकंड रुक जाओ. My bad. You can do this. Question number 28. 1 and 2. Go ahead. 1 and 2. Come on, guys. Come on. Are you all there with me? Tell me what will happen in case of Rudra Limited. Rudra of Rohini in Delhi exclusively engaged in intrastate supply of bricks, building bricks. Its aggregate turnover is 23 lakh. What will happen? Delhi and building bricks and turnover is 23 lakhs. Will it be liable to register or not? Just tell me yes or no. Just tell me yes or no, guys. Come on. Building bricks, fly ash, building bricks. Which limit is applicable? 10, 20 or 40? Everyone, Kesarla, Bala, what are you all doing? Nikita? Come on, guys. What's wrong? Are you all liable to register or not? Arey, yes. Will 40 lakhs be applicable? Look at the thought. Understand. Look at the way things are to be. Okay, how is the thought process going to be? First think, is it applicable? Since it's goods, 40 lakhs can be applicable, yes. But is it supplying any goods which is either under the notified goods ka list, or is it in that state which is under that notified states? If yes, then 40 lakhs is not applicable. Then either think of 20 or 10. Right? But if it is not there, then definitely 40 will be applicable. And here it is clearly classified under the notified goods. So 40 is not applicable. Now we are in Delhi. So Delhi ko 20 lakhs is applicable or 10 lakhs? 20, right? So applicable is 20. aggregate turnover is 23, it is liable to register. Is that very clear, my dear friends? It is liable to register. Next, Hira of Himachal is exclusively engaged in intrastate taxable supply of footwear. His turnover in current financial year is 32 lakhs. He has another showroom in Nagaland which has a turnover of 11 lakhs. Now what will happen? One is in Naga, one is in Himachal. तो हिमाचल में वो कर रहा है 32 लाख का और वहाँ पे कर रहा है 11 लाख का. By the way, he is supplying footwear only. In both the cases, he is supplying footwear only. My question is, what will be the applicable threshold limit? What will be the applicable threshold limit? 10, 20 or 40? 10, 20 or 40? Yes, absolutely correct, Harshita. Absolutely correct, Nikita, because both of them you are selling taxable goods. One is 10, one is 40, and in that case, whichever is lower, that happens to be 10 lakhs. Is that very clear? Yes, sir. And hence, my dear friends, the concept is very, very simple. Okay. It is the applicable threshold limit is 10 lakhs. Okay, and the aggregate turnover out here is how much? 43. And the applicable threshold limit is how much? 10. Array 10. Got it? Yes. So obviously you are liable to register, and you are liable to register where? You will have to answer this. You will be liable to register where? Where, guys? Then you have to say that you will be liable to register in both the states, Himachal and in Nagaland. As soon as he exceeds 10 lakhs, okay, he is liable to register. Okay, done. That's it. So I hope you all have got the trail of thought. I hope you all have got the trail of thought as to how you are going to think. Okay, that's it. Both, perfect, both. It will be liable to register in both the states. That's absolutely, absolutely, absolutely correct, my dear friends. Okay, now comes section 24, compulsory registration. Compulsory registration. What is it, my dear friends? Tell me. Okay, guys. Okay. Now, let's go and understand section 24. Section 24, my dear friends, is very simple. It talks about compulsory registration. It talks about compulsory registration. Very simple, very simple, very simple. Okay. When I talk about interstate supply, okay, interstate supply, Mumbai se Chennai, Mumbai se Gujarat, Mumbai se Delhi, interstate supply, right? From when the transaction is between two different states, two different union territories, or one state and one union territory. Very simple. In that case, my dear friends, I hope you understand that when I talk about goods, so if there is interstate supply of goods, there's interstate supply of goods, compulsory registration. So I will not think, no, okay, whether my turnover has exceeded 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs or 10 lakhs, whatever is applicable to me, I will not think. I will just get liable to register, and thereby within 30 days of becoming liable, I will register. So even if there is interstate supply of 1 rupee, but when it comes to goods, I am liable to register, I will have to register. I am liable to register, I will register, right? Irrespective of the threshold limit, does not matter, right? Which is why the name comes compulsory registry. Compulsory you are required to register, right? But that does not clearly goes the same with the services. So clearly interstate supply of service is outside the ambit of section 24. It's outside the ambit of section 24, right? And hence you will register only after 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs. Okay, so register only after it exceeds 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs, because okay, when it comes to interstate service, it is outside section 24. So section 24 only covers goods part. ठीक है, that's it. उसमें भी क्या है, there is an exception. Okay, what is an exception? So if you are selling handicraft goods or goods which are okay made by craftsmen, where predominantly there is use of hand, where predominantly they are making use of hand, okay, then in that case you will get an exemption of 20 lakhs and 10 lakhs. But the condition is that the supplier will have to have a PAN and will have to generate an EVA bill. Very simple. Okay, so understand why is this exception created, because I hope you understand that these handicraft goods, these cottage industries, okay, belong to a place which is, my dear friends, okay, where, tell me, is generally in rural areas. It belongs to a place which is generally in rural areas. Do you get it, my dear friends? Yes, it belongs to a place which generally is in rural areas. So if you are in a rural area, you are generally making these handicraft goods, but you have to sell it in the urban area, and which is why you will have to land up selling it in the cities, and which is why you will end up in interstate supply. Now if you ask that villager that okay, you do GST R1, GST R2B, 3B, this, that, ITC, output, he's like, what the hell? If I was so learned person, I would only go to the urban area and sell it off, right? I'm not. I know my work, but I don't know these compliances. So please exempt me from all of these things, at least for the first 20 lakhs. And government did that. For the first 20 lakhs, government said, don't worry. Even if you are doing interstate supply of goods, if it is handicraft, or if it is goods made by craftsmen, predominantly made by hand, understand, it will be exempt up to 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. Okay. Yes. That's absolutely correct. Okay. Now tell me one thing. Okay. I really need to ask you this. Right. Okay. So here the word predominant is used. So predominantly, if it is used by, if the hand is used, right? Not machinery, but the hand is used. So there is more labor involved. So there are more poor people, understand? So government wants to give an exemption only to those people. But if you are in a village and you are setting up a factory and all of that, if you have a lot of money, then 20 lakhs not applicable to you. Right? Government assumes that you are already a very big established person. You can do all the compliances in the world. So if you have to claim an exemption, okay, predominant, okay, your handicraft should be predominantly used by hand and not by correct machines, not by machines but by hand. Okay, that's absolutely correct. Okay, now tell me one thing. In first scenario, hand is 30%, machinery is 70%. Is the hand predominant here? No. So compulsory registration. 50-50. Again, is the hand predominant here? No. It is equal in nature. Again, compulsory registration. But in the last case, 70-30. Is the hand predominant here? Yes. And which is why in this case, my dear friends, it will be exempt up to 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs because here the hand is predominant in nature. So a lot of labor is used and government wants to give exemption only to these people. Is that very correct? That's it. Just make sure that when you get an exemption, when you are claiming this exemption, you do these compliances. You should have a PAN, and every time there is movement of goods, every time there is movement of goods from your end, when you're sending the goods, even if your consignment value is not exceeding 50,000, which is a limit we will learn in e-way, mind you will still have to generate e-way. Right? Interstate supplier of handicraft goods, you will have to generate e-way, period. Okay? That's it. Next. Okay, forget about next. Before even go to next, I would want to tell you and ask you, before even we go to next one, I would want to ask you, tell me what will happen. Fatavat se give me answers, yes or no. Just give me answer in yes or no. Interstate supplier of goods, turnover is only 10 lakhs. Turnover is only 10 lakhs. Okay, and threshold limit applicable is 40 lakhs. But it is interstate supply of goods like, for example, mobile phones. Right? In that case, compulsory registration, yes or no? Fatavat. Compulsory registration, my dear friends, yes or no? Come on. Come on. Yes. Tell me. But there is interstate supply of handicraft goods like these pots or these, there are these hota hai na pot वगैरह, and the turnover is 10 lakh rupees. Is he liable to register? Interstate supply of handicraft goods, yes or no? Interstate supply of handicraft goods which has generated e-way bill and PAN, 10 lakh is the turnover that they have made. No, he is not liable to register. No, he is not liable to register, guys. He is not liable to register. Did you get it, guys? He is clearly not liable to register. That's it. That's all I wanted to ask. Okay. Done. That's it. Done. That's it. Okay. But when it comes to interstate supply of services, in that case, what will happen if the, let's say, turnover is 15 lakhs? What will happen? Maharashtra ka service provider hai. He's based in Maharashtra, and that person is making interstate supply of services. Tell me what will happen. 10 lakh is the turnover. Not liable because, sir, it has not exceeded 20 lakhs. Okay, because it clearly does not fall under compulsory registration ka purview. Fair enough. Okay, keeping in mind the same thing, I would now jump to person supplying goods or service through ECO who deducts TCS under section 51. Person supplying through ECO who deducts TCS under section 51. Are you getting it, my dear friends? Understand one thing. अगर goods है, क्या है? अगर goods की बात हो रही है, ओके, अगर गुड्स की बात हो रही है, अंडरस्टैंड, अगर गुड्स की बात हो रही है, if that person is supplying goods through ECO, for example Amazon, let's say Jethalal is a person who's supplying goods through Amazon, he's supplying his electronic items through Amazon, then Jethalal is compulsorily liable to register. The pretext of this is very clear. Interstate supplier of goods, compulsory. Person supplying goods through ECO, compulsory, because obviously if you want to understand, you want to register on an ECO because now you want to sell all over India to all the 29 states and all the 7 union territories. Why will I restrict myself to my own state? So here also you will end up doing inter only. So government said person supplying goods through ECO, you will have to compulsory register. In fact, when you want to list yourself on Amazon and Flipkart, the first thing that they ask from you is give me your GST number, because that provides them with one very important fact, the authenticity, that you are a proper GST registered trader. Are you getting it? Yes. But understand, my dear friends, if I am supplying any services through ECU, if I am supplying any services through ECU, for example, I am supplying services by the way of what? Beauty treatment service through Urban Cloud. Okay. Not housekeeping, not housekeeping. Housekeeping will be subject to 9(5). Where Urban Cloud will pay the tax. Discount under 9(5). Housekeeping. Samjha? Yes. Beauty treatment. Let's say I've come to your place and I'm cutting. In that case, as a salon artist, as a barber, I will register only after 20 lakhs. Right? I will register only after 20 lakhs. Okay? So, the concept of interstate supply and person supplying through ECU is very simple. Goods, compulsory. Service, they have been exempted up to 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs, whatever the case may be. Okay? Next, ECU himself. That is Flipkart or, Amazon. Flipkart or Amazon. I'm talking about them. Now, why are they liable to register? For example, what did I say? Jetalal supplying through Amazon. Then Jetalal is compulsory required to register. But Amazon is also compulsorily required to register. 2 reasons. Why? Okay. Why? I'll tell you. Okay. So understand this. This is how the transaction works. Jetalal. And here there is the recipient. And here we have Flipkart. Okay, we have Jetalal, we have Flipkart, we have recipient. Got it? Understand one thing. I am supplying. There is sale of TV. So the sale is of 10,000. GST here is 12%. 1200. Got it? Perfect. Right? Understand one thing. Recipient pays 11,200 to Flipkart. Flipkart pays the same, okay, to Jetalal. Jetalal pays that GST of 1,200 to government. Does that make sense? Yes, because he has done the crime of supplying goods or service, so he will obviously pay the GST. He will obviously pay the GST. Okay. But then came the introduction of TCS. So after TCS, all the e-commerce operators, right, who are a marketplace, right, where goods are listed, they don't own those goods, they are listed on that space. Okay, all the e-commerce operators which are covered under section 51 will have to deduct TCS. How much? At the rate 1%. So here, okay, on this 10,000, this guy had to deduct a TCS of 1%, that is 100 rupees. Right? So now I will deduct 100 rupees and then remit the remaining amount to Jetalal. So instead of 10,000, I will now give him 9,900. GST पूरा दे दूंगा मैं उसको. ठीक? So now, my dear friends, as soon as this guy deducts, okay, let's say this guy deducts in the month of April, so on 10th May he will deposit it with government. He will have to deposit it with the government. Now to deposit it with the government, understand, to deposit it with the government. Are you trying to understand? To deposit it with the government, my dear friends, okay. Are you able to understand? Are you able to understand that he will have to log in the GST portal? So are you also able to understand that he will have a GST registered number? Yes, yes, yes. Array, yes, yes, yes. Array, yes, yes, yes. Absolutely yes, my dear friends. ठीक है? Absolutely yes. ठीक है? Perfect, 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 perfect. So now the reason why Flipkart will have to register is amply clear, my dear friends. Why is it amply very clear? Because very simple, my dear friends, when it comes to Flipkart, Flipkart. Okay, very simple, my dear friends. The only thing that I want to tell you all is that the only reason why ECOs will have to register, is because of one simple thing. Correct. TCS at the rate 1%. They have to deposit TCS at the rate 1% because they are supposed to deduct it. So to pay, they have to register. Got it? Perfect. Now, my dear friends, how about Jethalal? Why is Jethalal liable to register? Jethalal is liable to register because it has to pay this GST, 1200 wala. Got it? And by the way, the TCS that is deducted here will not go in vain. This will clearly be reflected in the e-cash ledger of Jethalal. So Jethalal, okay, the liability towards government is 1200, but the amount that this person will transfer from his bank account to e-cash ledger will be 1100. Is that very clear? Yes. Because 100 rupees is already there in e-cash ledger. E-cash ledger. Got it? Yes. That's it, my dear friends. Okay. So I hope you all have understood why it's important to register the e-commerce operator, guys. Right? So मैं 51 लिख रहा था. I'm so sorry. 52 होगा. 51 is TDS. 52 is TCS. My bad. 51 लिखा था मैंने यहाँ पे. I'll just correct it. It is 52. My bad. Okay. Perfect, guys. ठीक है. That's it. Okay. अच्छा, इसमें there are two things that I have told. So one is Flipkart. Okay. Simple. Is an ECO required to deduct TCS under section 52 compulsory registration, right? But OLX, my dear friends, is not covered under section 52. Why? I'll tell you why. Simple reason. Understand, when there is OLX, there is a seller, there is a buyer. So if this would have been Flipkart or Amazon, the goods would have got routed through Amazon and the money from buyer would have got routed through Amazon. But when it comes to OLX, okay, understand that nothing is routed through OLX. No. Seller sells it to the buyer, buyer hands over the money to the seller. Simple. Got it? Okay, there is absolutely no involvement of the ECO. ECO just lists the supplier. That's it. ECO just lists the supplier. That's it, my dear friends. Okay. ठीक है, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, that's it. ठीक है. ECO just lists, OLX just lists. That's it. There is, so understand that the money is not routed through OLX, so there is no opportunity for OLX to deduct TCS. When can I deduct TCS? When I have the money from the recipient. If I don't have money from the recipient, what will I deduct and what will I remit? Right? So someone like an OLX, though he is an ECO, but he is not an ECO covered under 52. So is he liable to deduct TCS? No. Is he liable to register? No. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, what happens when it is CTP? Casual taxable person. Or bolo, casual taxable person. Okay, frankly, I will discuss this in section 27 right now. Just get past this. Both CTP and NRTP, I will discuss there. Why they are required to compulsorily register. Okay. Now, next. Person liable to pay tax. Very simple. Understand, any person who is liable to pay tax under 9395. 93 recipient, 95 ECO, 93 recipient, 95 ECO. Okay, ECO. So understand the ECO that we spoke about right now. You should not get confused. Here he is not liable to pay tax. Here he is liable to only deduct TCS. Right? When I say pay tax, it means the 1200 that Jethalal is paying. Is that 1200 being paid by Flipkart? No, Flipkart will only pay the TCS. But when it comes to, for example, MMT, my dear friends, right? Yeah, for that matter, Ola ko le lo chalo. Ola, right? And there is a cab driver and there is a passenger. In this case, understand, this guy gives transportation of passenger service. Agreed. This guy gives passenger transportation service. Agreed. Now when it comes to this passenger, okay, he gives money to Ola, let's say for example 100 rupees plus GST 112, right? Ola remits 100 to the cab driver and keeps with himself 12 rupees, which is basically the GST that Ola is liable to pay under section 9(5). Because you cannot ask the cab driver to pay that 12 rupees to government. You cannot ask the passenger to pay that 12 rupees to government. It is absolute, crime in the eyes of law. Why? Because simple si baat hai, they cannot do compliances. They cannot hold the burden of compliances. Are you getting it? Yes. So understand, here are they deducting TCS? No. Here they are liable to pay the tax. So the tax that I was actually paid by the Jethalal, here the ECO is paying that. Be it Make My Trip, be it your Ola Uber, be it your Urban Clap, right? Housekeeping service, hotel accommodation service, transportation of passenger service via radio taxis, rickshaws and meter taxis and all of that. Right? In that, the actual tax, the tax on that supply will be paid by ECO. And obviously to pay that tax, they have to register. Right? For example, here they have to register. Why? Why? To pay TCS. Here they have to register. Why? 9(5) के case में to pay the tax. Okay, perfect. Next, agent who, my dear friends, makes taxable supplies on behalf of his taxable principal. Okay, agent who makes taxable supplies on behalf of his taxable principal. Very important here. You have to check two things. First, just check that the goods that the agent is supplying on behalf of the principal, those are taxable goods. Second, if the principal out here himself is a taxable person, if that happens, period, end of discussion, okay, the agent will be compulsorily required to register. The agent will be compulsorily required to register. ठीक है? Done. Okay. Next, my dear friends, TDS. So when it comes to tax deducted at source, तो आज बहुत सिंपल सी बात है. अगर बात हम लोग कर रहे हैं TDS की, TDS डिडक्टर की अंडर सेक्शन 51, then in that case please try and understand, okay, that here he is liable to deduct TDS. So if you remember, in this case, supplier and recipient deducts the TDS and then remits to the supplier the remaining amount, right? So if I am supplying you goods worth rupees 1 lakh, you will deduct TDS of 2% and remit me only 98,000. And then that 2,000 you as a recipient will now have to deposit with government. Now, to deposit with government, you have to log into the portal. To log into the portal, you have to have GST number. Yes. And in that case, my dear friends, very simple, you will be compulsorily required to register. No questions asked. Got it? Yes. Okay. Have we learned anything in relation to TDS deductor? Anything related to TDS deductor somewhere or the other in GST? Before this, have we ever mentioned about TDS deductor? If yes, when? Please answer. If yes, when? Please answer. Come on, friends. Come on, friends. Tell me. Tell me. Yes, we did it RCM. And in RCM, we did it in two services, GTA and security. GTA and security. Okay, okay, Sneha. Okay, so just write down RCM here, and that just jot down GTA and security service, so that you remind yourself of this, that okay, fine. In this case, if there was a recipient, TDS deductor, in GTA 5% exempt, in security RCM shall not apply, FCM shall apply. So that's how you should focus. क्या बात है केसरला? Could you really recollect that, केसरला? If yes, then I'm really proud of you, Keserla. You've genuinely done some fantastic job. If you have remembered that, fantastic, lovely, lovely. Okay. Yeah. Next is when we give OIDAR services. Now understand, if the supplier is Netflix, if recipient is unregistered person, if supplier is Netflix and recipient is unregistered person, तो सप्लायर क्या है? नेटफ्लिक्स है, जो एक ऑयडर सप्लायर है. ओके, कौन है? ऑयडर सप्लायर. और वो ऑयडर सप्लायर इज आउटसाइड इंडिया. ओके, बाय द वे, व्हाट इज ऑयडर? ऑयडर का फुल फॉर्म इज ऑनलाइन इंफॉर्मेशन डेटाबेस access retrieval services. Online information database access retrieval services. Online information database access retrieval services. Online information database access retrieval services. Fair enough? Fair enough, guys? Yes. Okay, perfect. Now basically these are examples of online gaming, online music, online book, online movies, cloud computing service, advertisement services. These are classic examples of, my dear friends, OIDAR services. Okay, now in this case, understand, recipient is an unregistered person. Okay, URP is unregistered person, and that unregistered person is in India. Now you can't ask now understand, who is in India? First we will think of catch holding of him. That is an unregistered person, someone like Kesarla, someone like Nikita, someone like Bala, someone like Durul. You think people like this will pay tax? They will first register, pay tax as per RCM, then think about the password of their Netflix, and then log in, then figure out, okay, which is the series I should watch. And before he even watches, he will fall asleep. Correct? Yes. You cannot ask the recipient to pay tax because they are all unregistered people. They are all bloody consumers. Right? So you will ask the supplier only to pay the tax. So you compulsorily ask the OIDAR suppliers who though are outside India, but to get compulsorily register. To get compulsorily register. Simple. Okay? ठीक है, perfect. That's it. Okay, I think we're done with section 24, guys. That was all. Okay, next comes, my dear friends, section 23. Section 23 talks about people who are exempted from registration. So first is, my dear friends, yes, you got it right, my dear friends. I'm talking about farmers. Are you getting it? Yes. Agriculturist is what they are called. So agriculturist who's either an individual or an HUF. Very important thing. Individual or HUF. So for example, Mr. X is doing kheti badi, is doing farming, right, in his own land by cultivating, crops, food grains and fruits and vegetables, where the labor that they are involving is either own labor, either the labor of family, or either the hired labor, right? Then in that case, my dear friends, understand one thing very clearly. Understand one thing very clearly. Okay, very clearly, my dear friend. Okay, that such person, when goes out to sell his product in the market, it can be potatoes, it can be onions, it can be tomatoes, it can be any flowers, fruits, vegetables, anything, he will not pay a single penny of GST because he is exempted from registration. He is exempted from registration. Did you get it, my dear friends? Did you get it, my dear friends? Yes. Okay. But tell me one thing, if Reliance Limited, a farming company, cultivates potatoes out of land with the help of labor, what will happen? In that case, he will not get this exemption because that case, it is Reliance Limited, a farming company, and it's a company. An exemption is not to a company, it's only to individual and HUF. So mind that first. And second thing, is Lakshmi there? Lakshmi, right? Second, person who is exclusively supplying exempted goods or service, goods or service not liable to tax. And the third, outward supply where tax is payable as per RCM, right? So if you are a person who is exclusively supplying, exempted goods or service, non-taxable goods or service, okay, or goods or service where tax is payable as per RCM. So for example, exempted goods or service, classic example is, let's say for example, if I'm a hospital, so I'll be only and only supplying what? Exempted services. So will I charge GST? No. Will I collect GST? No. Will I pay GST? No. Will I get ITC? No. So I'm not supposed to pay something to government. I'm not supposed to receive something from government. Why will I register on the first place? Second, non-taxable goods like 5 petroleum products and alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Okay, you can just write down petrol nahi, यहाँ पे लिख देना 5 petroleum products. 5 petroleum products and alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Okay, will you charge GST? No. Will you collect? No. Will you pay? No. Why will I register though? Why will I register? Third, person who's exclusively supplying outward supply where taxes payable as per RCM. For example, I'm an insurance agent, and that's the only job I do on earth. The commission that I will bill to the insurance company, the tax always will be payable by whom? Insurance company. So who is liable to register? Insurance company. Because who is liable to pay tax under 9(3)? Insurance company. Understand that agent will be exempted from registration and insurance company will be required to compulsorily register under section 24. Will be required to compulsorily register under section 24. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes, sir. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes, sir. Okay. Because if you remember, I had taught you something that insurance company है एक और insurance agents है अनेक. Insurance company है एक और insurance agents है अनेक. So in that case, okay, very simple. It's the insurance company who is liable to pay tax as per RCA. Okay, because it's convenient for the government to obviously ask the insurance company to pay the tax. ठीक है, that's it. डन है बॉस, डन है, डन है, डन है, डन है, डन है. ओके. हाँ, इसमें क्या डाउट था? आई गेस यमराज, इज दैट योर नेम फॉर रियल? But I'm a little not aware about CMA provisions, so I'm extremely sorry. Won't be able to help you. Okay, Rakshit, thanks a lot for answering. Thanks a lot, Rakshit. Okay. Yep. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Now let's focus on section 27. Right. So here we have NRTP CTP, NRTP CTP, NRTP CTP, non-resident taxable person, casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person, casual taxable person. So for both of them, let me tell you something. They have a commonality, right? So in case of NRTP, if there is a person who is outside India, but wants to come to India for the purpose of business. Let's say classic example is a diamond merchant. Okay, let's say Nirav Modi, who is now a UK citizen, he is coming all the way to India in Mumbai, okay, for his exhibition. Or for that matter, even better example, Justin Bieber, right? Baby, 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 huh? Correct? He has come all the way to India. He was there in Mumbai. He sang in D.Y. Patil with his chaddi and banyan, and that too lip singing, not his original singing. And people give lakhs of rupees, my dear friends, lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So now all I want to tell you is that in this case, right, NRTP, a person outside India comes in India for business. He does business and then he gets lost. Will our Indian government just keep watching as a lame duck and as a spectator, clapping for, yeah, baby, 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 oh, kasa hai tu mala bol, right? Not right? No, obviously not, right? They will take some action. They will focus on the fact that Justin Bieber just does not come, make money and leave. They will make sure that he pays all the taxes, right? He pays income tax, he pays GST. So with respect to GST, government said that whichever state he comes in, he has to compulsorily register in that state. So Justin Bieber would have to compulsorily get registered under, absolutely correct, Maharashtra state, because he carried out that concert in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, right? Now understand, when will he have to take registration? For how many days? When will he have to pay tax? These are the things that I need to discuss. But before that, let me just talk about CTP, casual taxable person. So let's say Jetalal is owning an electronic shop in Mumbai, but he wants to participate in an exhibition in, let's say, Chennai. Right? That's where is the base he is looking out for, Chennai. So in that case, my dear friends, by the way, I will be landing to Chennai, guys. I will be landing to Chennai tomorrow. Really want to meet you guys actually, right? I wish I can. Baba. right? Who all are there from Chennai? Please raise your hands. Come on, guys. Come on, come on, come on. I would like to see you. Let's meet up. Let's catch up. Why not? Yeah. We can meet at High Q. That's a good place. Yeah, Bala. Yeah, I would love to meet you. Yeah. So tomorrow I'm landing in Chennai and I'll be there till 6th, I guess. 6th. Yeah. Let's catch up. Let's catch up. Okay. So let's say he wants to come to Chennai, right? Tamil Nadu. So in that case, government said, listen, Jethalal, you will have to register in Chennai. That is under Tamil Nadu SGST Act, because you are a CTP, casual taxable person, who is coming from one state to another state where that state is not a fixed place of business. That state is not a fixed place of business. His fixed place of business is, but he's coming all the way from Mumbai to Chennai. In that case, he will have to compulsory register there. Got it? Got it? Yes. Okay, that's it. So all I would like to tell you is, my dear friends, here the first thing is, be it CTP or be it NRTP. CTP is from one state to another state. NRTP is from one country to another country, right? In whichever state you are going as a CTP or NRTP, first thing, you have to compulsorily register. First point, you have to compulsorily register under section 24, point number 1. When do you have to register? Before or after you commence your business? Government says after, nahi, before you commence your business. So before at least 5 days of commencing a business. So 5 days prior to commencement of business, you will have to compulsorily register. And at the time of registration itself, understand, at the time of registration itself, you will also pay tax. At the time of registration itself, you will also pay tax, right? And you will pay tax on estimated tax liability. Right? And you will pay tax on estimated tax liability, right? That is output tax minus ITC. आउटपुट टैक्स माइनस आईटीसी. तो जो भी नेट एस्टिमेटेड लायबिलिटी है, जो भी नेट एस्टिमेटेड लायबिलिटी है, राइट, you will have to deposit that in the e-cash ledger. You will have to deposit that in the e-cash ledger. Very simple here, very simple. Okay. Next, now that you have commenced the business, the validity of registration will be two things. Always remember, the registration will be valid for maximum 90 days. So either 90 days or period for which you have applied. Got it? So either 90 days or period for which you have applied, whichever is earlier. So if you applied for 10 days, so 10 days. So 10 days, 90 days, whichever is earlier, 10 days. ठीक है? क्या extension मिलेगा? Yes, once, only once, right? Only once, guys, and that will be again maximum for 90 days, right? Correct. But also understand one thing. Pay advance tax. Pay advance tax for the extended period. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes, absolutely. Bang. Okay. You will have to pay advance tax again for the extended period. Okay. Yeah. If you want one more extension, then in that case, now stop being registered as a CTP or NRTP. Take normal registration, simple, and now you don't have to pay any advance tax. April ka tax you pay 20th, May ka 20th June, June ka 20th July. Now, why is this concept of advance tax introduced here? Very simple. Because I don't know when Jethalal will fly from that state. I don't know when Justin Bieber will fly back to US. I don't know that. And I can't even keep a track of that. So government said, listen, nothing doing. In most of the cases, in normal people's case, normal taxpayers, they will do the business, then pay the tax, do the business, then pay the tax, do the business, then pay the tax. But in your case, NRTP and CTP, you will pay the tax and then do the business. So if you were supposed to pay 10 lakhs, but you paid 15, you will get 5 lakhs refund. And vice versa, you will have to pay with interest. Simple. That's it. Right? One note that I mentioned here is CTP and NRTP will never get composition scheme. Will never get composition scheme. 1%, forget about it. You will always have to pay under normal rate. Second, ITC is always blocked with respect to NRTP. Right? So government has tried to give some competitive edge to the domestic person. Domestic person जो है competitive edge दी है. बोला अगर NRTP तेरे साथ ही अगर बेचेगा, if the NRTP will sell goods with you, you will have a competitive edge because for you the cost will be 100, but for him the cost will be 118 because he is not getting the ITC and you are. He will get ITC only of one thing, that is of imported goods, nothing else. Nothing else. Any goods that he purchases within the state or any services that he is either importing or purchasing within the state, he is not getting the ITC. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. That's all I want to tell you all. Okay. ठीक है. That's it. Done. 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 You got it? Yes. Okay. So we did 22, 23, 24, 25 is pending. Okay. 26 is just deemed registration. There's nothing to do in that. So it only states that if you are registered under SGST Act, you will be deemed registered under CGST Act. And if your application is rejected under SGST Act, your application will be deemed rejected under CGST Act, period. Simple. Okay. Okay. There is section 25 and then there is 28. Okay. Okay. Is this clear, guys? Were you all able to understand 22, 23, 24, 25, sorry, 26 and 27? Give me a thumbs up. Show me a thumbs up. Show me a thumbs up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, guys. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's take a good 10-minute break. Let's come back. Let's come back by 10:15. आ जाओ चलो. Let's try to accomplish as much as possible. I'm targeting section 25 and 28 at least. That's what we can do. Let's do it. Come on, let's do it. Come back by 10:15. Okay, guys. Okay, hello. Okay, friends, let's start with section 25. Okay. Now understand one thing. understand one thing, guys, that it's very important for you to understand that when it comes to registration, right, the procedure of registration is very important. You can be asked MCQs in this, definitely, right? Now I am talking about part 1 and part 2. Procedure for registration, guys. Procedure for registration. Part 1. If the person becomes liable to register either under section 22 or 24. 22 or 24, right? If a person becomes liable to register either under section 22 or 24, right? Right, then in that case, please try and understand, my dear friends, that when it comes to 22, you have liable wale cases threshold related and 24 is compulsory registration, correct? So once you have become liable to registration 22 to 24 ke tehet, now you are supposed to register within 30 days. Within 30 days, okay? So if you register within 30 days, okay, the effective date of registration becomes date of becoming liable to registration. After 30 days, date of grant of registration. Now you have to declare in part A, form GST REG 01. Now you have to declare in part A, form GST REG 01. Correct? Very simple. Very, very, very simple. Right? So there is part A and part B. In part A, you have to declare things like PAN, mobile number, state or union territory. Right? But understand, once the verification is done, you will get TRN, temporary registration number. You will get TRN, temporary registration number. Okay, so TRN will be generated and you will get email ID and mobile. You will get email ID and mobile number. Understand? Okay, you will get the TRN, email ID and mobile number, and once you get that, okay, you fill in the information. So to fill part B, you will have to use TRN, right? So very simple, you will register within 30 days. In part A, you will fill your PAN, mobile, state. Once that is verified, okay, you will get a TRN, temporary registration number. Use that TRN, you put the captcha code, and then, right, in part B, you fill in details like constitution of business jurisdiction, option for composition scheme, date of commencement, right, of business, address of principal place of business, additional place of business, right? So all of this, and these are separate things, huh? Constitution of business jurisdiction, option for compo, date of commencement, address of principal place of business या फिर additional place of business. Simple, absolutely simple. ठीक, this is how it is. Got it, friends? Got it? Yeah, this is what I want to tell you, right? Details in part B. Once you have filled that, very simple, application shall be forwarded to proper officer for verification. Application shall be forwarded to proper officer for verification, right? Now understand one thing, that once the application, understand, you have filled part A, yes, you have filled part B, yes. Now the application is in the is in the code of proper officer. Understand, the ball is in the code of proper officer, right? But understand, before that, the date of submission of application will be, depends whether you've done Aadhar authentication or not. If you have done Aadhar authentication, date of Aadhar authentication. If you have not done Aadhar authentication, 15 days of filling part B, okay, whichever is earlier. Simple. Now that is sorted, you filled part A, you filled part B. Now the application is with the proper officer. Simple. Now understand, now that the application is with the proper officer, case 1, case 2. Case 1, opt for Aadhar. So if you've opted for Aadhar, if you've done your Aadhar authentication, very simple. If proper officer is satisfied with all the information that you have given, right? All the information along with the documents, along with all the information, understand? You will get the RC within 7 days. You will get the RC within 7 working days from the date of submission of application. Okay, or otherwise it is deemed approved. So if it is not granted within 7 days, it is deemed approved, right? But now that the application is in the court of proper officer, he can either accept it or he can either reject it. No. Rejection is not the way. You can either accept or either issue notice. You have to give an opportunity of being heard. You have to give an opportunity of being heard, right? Now understand one thing. Very simple. Okay. You issue deficiency notice. You issue deficiency notice within 7 working days from DOSA. That is date of submission of application. Okay, you issue deficiency notice within 7 working days from the date of submission of application. So either accept it, and if you have any doubts, if you need any clarification, if you think that the application is incomplete, issue notice within 7 working days. Now who is supposed to reply to that notice? The applicant. So the ball is in the court of applicant. He will get 7 days to reply. So as soon as he receives it, within 7 days he needs to reply. Simple. So he replies within 7 days. Fantastic. He replies within 7 days. Now when it comes to proper officer, understand. Now that I have replied, very simple. The ball is in the court of proper officer. Proper officer is satisfied. Proper officer is satisfied. Yes or no? Yes. Grant within 7 days from the date of reply. And if not, then reject it outrightly. Very simple. And if you can't either say yes or a no, deemed registration is granted. Right? Deemed registration is granted. Very simple. ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले आधार ऑथेंटिकेशन लिया है अगर आपने, इफ यू हैव टेकन आधार ऑथेंटिकेशन, yes or no, no, yes or reject. Sorry, yes or no, no, yes or issue notice. If yes, grant within 7 days. If no, then issue notice within 7 working days. If you do nothing, deemed approved. Acha, issue notice. Now ask the person to reply within 7 days. He's replied within 7 days. Now you check within 7 days. If yes, then grant. If no, then say no, say reject. If you don't do either of them, deemed approved. Simple. Case 2, where the applicant fails to undergo Aadhar authentication, or he does not opt for Aadhar authentication, right? Now understand the difference between the two. This and this. So where the applicant fails to undergo Aadhar authentication, or he does not opt for Aadhar authentication, there is a difference between both. When you fail to undergo, that means you have tried, but unfortunately the Aadhar could not be authenticated because maybe your Aadhar is not linked with your phone number. So the OTP is going to someone else's phone number and you can't keep a track of it. So you can't insert the right OTP, and which is why your Aadhar failed to get authenticated. But when you don't opt for Aadhar authentication, that means you choose to opt out of it. You have not chosen there only. Upar wale mein, in the above option you have chosen but you have failed. In the other one you have chosen, sorry, you have not chosen only on the first place. Second wale mein, you does not opt for it. Third, if the proper officer fails to carry out physical verification, right, or person has undergone Aadhar authentication but due to some data analysis or risk parameters, it warrants site verification, department wants to see your site verification. Department wants to see your site verification, understand one thing. In that case, my dear friends, it is very, very, very clear, right, that okay, in this case, proper officer needs time to issue RC. Then in this case, understand that site verification will happen, right? So for site verification, it takes time. It cannot happen within 7 days. So after site verification, okay, they have taken considerable amount of time. Within 30 days, if they find everything is proper, grant it. If not, issue notice within 30 days. Reply to within 7 days ही होगा boss. Reply, you will not give a lot of time to reply, right? So reply will be within 7 days. And lastly, very simple, my dear friends, reply has been given. Again, the ball is now in the court of proper officer. Proper officer will either say yes or a no. Yes तो ठीक है, accept, no तो फिर reject. And if you don't do either of them, deemed approved. And ऊपर भी in case of 30 days, if you don't say yes or issue notice, deemed approval, right? So there, when it comes to Aadhar authentication, yes or no, okay, yes or issuing notice is within 7 days. Here it starts with 30 days, but then it boils down to 7 days. Just remember that, because site verification takes a lot of time, so it cannot happen within 7 days. So that is why they have extended to 30 days. Okay, that's it. Okay. Acha, when it comes to Aadhar authentication, my dear friends, very important to understand that if you are an individual, you will have your own Aadhar. But if you are, for example, okay, a company, it will be MDWTD. If you are an HUF, it will be Karta. If you are a trust, it will be Board of Trustees. If you are a partnership firm, it will be partners, authorized signatories or representative. जिसका आधार लिया जाएगा, उस आधार will be taken into account. Next, following person have been exempted. Okay, they don't need to do Aadhar authentication, guys. They don't need to do Aadhar authentication, right? Acha, you all can hear me, no? You all can hear me, Nikita? Nikita, Bala, you all can hear me, right? Okay, fantastic, right? So the point is, a person who is not a citizen of India, perfect. Second, department or establishment of CGSG, या फिर local authority, या फिर statutory body, या फिर PSUs. PSU is like something like SBI or ONGC, right? And last is UIN, unique, people who have unique identification number. That is basically people who are covered under section 25 subsection 9. Classic example is foreign embassy or any body of UN, United Nations, right? So these are the people who are definitely not covered under Aadhar authentication. They are exempted. Clearly it can be asked in the exam, so be aware of that. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes sir. ठीक है? That's it guys. And the last is okay. RP, registered person, shall undergo Aadhar authentication to become eligible for what? For filing of application for revocation of cancellation of RC, for filing of refund application in RFD 01 form, and third is refund of IGST paid on goods exported out of India, right? Frankly speaking, this is very unlikely to be asked because only the first case is what is relevant to you. Both these cases are basically covered in CA final, so just try to remember it, okay? But I feel it's not of great importance. Yeah, you can definitely remember this case, which we will be doing in section 30. Okay? That's it. So you can do these activities only if you have Aadhar authentication, otherwise you cannot. Got it? Yes. Now comes the remaining part of my dear friends, section 25, right? So Which are the other important points, my dear friends, with respect to section 25? Point number 1, separate registration of units having same PAN. Okay, having same PAN. So understand, separate registration of units having same PAN is necessary when units are in different states, or when SEZ and non-SEZ units are in the same state or union territory. So for example, if I am in Maharashtra, you are in Gujarat, and the aggregate turnover exceeds 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 40 lakhs, you are liable to register in both the states compulsorily. But the question is, what if I am in Mumbai and you are in Pune, both are in Maharashtra? Is there compulsory registration there? Is there compulsory registration there? No. No. Absolutely not, my dear friends. Absolutely not. And you know why, my dear friends? Why? Because it is within the same state. Okay, even in Mumbai I will charge CGST, Maharashtra is GST. Even in Pune I will charge CGST and Maharashtra is GST. Right? So it doesn't matter if I register one or both of them. If I register one, then both the branches ka I will pay tax from one branch. Simple. But the same cannot happen in different states. I cannot say that Gujarat mein jo sale hua hai, whatever sale has happened in Gujarat, I will also pay tax of that from Mumbai. No. Gujarat government will object, because Gujarat government will say that you are registered in Mumbai, so you will pay to your government. No, you will charge CGST and Maharashtra GST. Why will that happen? If that supply has happened in Gujarat, I will take that tax. So let him charge CGST in Gujarat as GST, and in your state CGST and Maharashtra is GST. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. Okay. But understand, if it is within the same state, but one is in SEZ and the other is not in SEZ, then in that case you have compulsory registration in both the units. Got it? Yes. Distinct person, we have already, my dear friends, concluded 25 subsection 4 and 25.5. We've clearly mentioned here. Okay. Second, it's very important, my dear friends, to understand that to have GSTN number, you should have a PAN. You should have a PAN, right? And if you are a TDS deductor, you should have a TAN, right? So TDS वाले को TAN और others को PAN. But PAN का है एक exception. You have an exception for PAN. NRTP. Someone like a Justin Bieber. Understand, how will he have a PAN? PAN is issued by Income Tax Act to the citizens of India. So he can either, furnish his valid passport number, and if there's a business entity that comes to India, that's, let's say, Google INC is coming to India and Sudhar Pichai is representing Google INC, then the tax identification number will be taken into account instead of the PAN. So PAN के बदले इंडिविजुअल आया है तो सेल्फ अश्योर्ड वैलिड पासपोर्ट, बट अगर कोई कंपनी आया है तो टैक्स आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर. ओके, परफेक्ट. नेक्स्ट, 25 subsection 8, my dear friends. In 25 subsection 8, all I want to tell you is that, listen, due to some inquiry, survey, inspection, search, person who is liable to register but fails to register, person who is liable to register but fails to register. So he is liable to register but he has failed to register, my dear friends. In that case, understand one thing, the proper officer may register the said person on temporary basis and issue an order. Proper officer may register the said person on temporary basis and issue an order. Very simple. Right? So I know that this person is liable to register, but he is bloody unregistered. He is liable to register, but he is bloody unregistered. So I will give him temporary registration number and I will ask him, okay, put this GST number, pay tax, end of discussion. And if you accept that you are liable to pay but you have not paid, then understand, as soon as I give you temporary registration number, within 90 days you take fresh registration, you furnish all the details, part A, part B, Aadhar Authentication, everything, and do fresh registration within 90 days. But in case you still feel that you are not liable to register, you are not, because maybe according to you, you are supplying only exempted goods or service. anything can happen. Then you can appeal. You can appeal to appellate authority. Yes, you can appeal to them. Okay. Now, if the appellate authority sets aside the order issued by proper officer, no registration. That means the proper officer was wrong in giving him temporary registration number. But let's say it upholds the order of the proper officer, then you are liable to register, and you will register within 30 days of the order being issued. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is that very clear? Correct. So keep this in mind. It's an important thing. I don't know, but a lot of people don't pay heed to this. This is a very important point. It can be asked in the exam. Okay. And the last is section 25 subsection 9. This is specifically covering those people, okay, who will not have GSTIN with them. No. They will have UIN with them. Unique identification number. Got it? Yes. So any specialized agency of UNO or any multilateral financial institution or any foreign embassy or consulate. Okay, understand. If it requires UIN, unique identification number, they will require UIN. Now, why will they require UIN? Why will they require unique identification number? Why? Right? Because they need refund of GST on inward supplies. They need a refund of GST on inward supply. Got it? Yes. I'll tell you. For example, if there is a US embassy, now understand, the services that they give are exempt, but understand, the inward supplies that they are taking, the GST that is paid here, government says that you can take a refund of this. You know why? Because US embassy, the entire people in US embassy, they are not Indians, they are US ambassadors, and there is a treaty signed amongst all the WTO countries that you will not charge GST to our citizens, and we will not charge GST to your citizens. So obviously he is not charging GST, but whatever inward supplies, which are notified inward supplies, by the way, on that, if you land up paying GST, you will get the refund of the same. Okay, because you have UI, and to get the refund of the same, you will have to log into the portal. So you will log into the portal with your GSTIN number? No, but with your UIN number. So UIN number is with people who only ask for refund of input tax. Okay, refund of input tax वैसे is not allowed. You can take input tax credit only if you have enough output tax to charge. So if I have paid 100 rupees from my pocket, only if I charge 120, can I keep myself out of that 120, 100 rupees and 20 to government. Got it? Yes. That's the only way I can recover my input tax, by charging output tax. You can recover your input tax by charging output tax. You can recover your input tax by charging output tax, by charging output tax, by charging tax. Got it? Got it? Okay. So that's it. That's all I wanted, and that's all I have asked for. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. Okay. And yeah, as soon as you apply for it, you will get it within 3 working days. Okay, that's it. So that was section 25, my dear friends. Okay, now last but not the least, section 28, amendment in RC. Now you have you've already filled part A and part B of your RC, right? But there are times where the details can be changed. For example, the amendment in RC can be of 2 types. One is of core field, one is of non-core field. One is of core field and one is of non-core field. So when I say core field, what I'm trying to do is basically, I'm trying to understand that लीगल नेम ऑफ बिजनेस क्या होगा, एड्रेस ऑफ प्रिंसिपल प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस क्या होगा. ओके, तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल लीगल नेम ऑफ बिजनेस, फॉर एग्जाम्पल okay, what is the legal name of business? Whatever name of business is basically mentioned on your PAN. So let's say, okay, let's say KS and Associates is what is mentioned, and this is my PAN number. Okay, for example, this is my PAN number. Okay, now understand, this is my legal name of business. But let's say from tomorrow I say KS, VS and Associates. This is my legal name, right? In that case, understand, the PAN will remain the same. The PAN number will remain the same. The name will change. But that is a core amendment, because the notice will always be in the name that was named previously. So tomorrow you can have the luxury of saying that the notice is only not in my name. Let's say my name was KS, now it is, for example, AS. So the name is KS, but I've changed the legal name. I am not KS, I am AS. ऐसा बोल सकते हो, right? You can say something like that. So to change that legal name, it is a core field. You will have to submit the required documents. Okay, you will require the permission of proper officer. Address of principal place of business, additional place of business you were initially doing from Mumbai, now you're doing it from Pune. So now tomorrow if they want to come for inspection, they will look at your RC ka address, they will reach Mumbai, they realize soon that you are not conducting business from Mumbai, you are conducting from Pune. Now that's not correct, my dear friend. Okay, that has severe consequences. Your ITC can be disallowed forever. Okay, because it is actually a condition out there in 86A, which says that if the supplier or the recipient, okay, if both of them or either of them, right, happen to be non-existent, or they are not conducting place of business from where they should be conducting it from, then in that case, my dear friends, they cannot debit the ITC, right? Perfect. Next क्या है? Add, delete, retirement of partners, kartas, board of directors, CEOs, right? Very important information. Understand why? Because you have no clue. But I'll tell you something. Let's say if I, Bala, Kesarla are conducting business and I move out, and Bala and Kesarla have done some irregularities. If I don't inform the government that I'm no more a partner in this firm, the liability can also fall to me. Are you getting it, my dear friends? That's how important it is. Okay. So in core field, these are the reasons. Please understand. They can ask you which are the core fields. Right, give us few examples. So you will have to write these examples where you do require the permission of the proper officer. And second is non-core field. So in this case, understand one thing, right? There is email ID and there is phone number. There is email ID and there is phone number, right? Correct. In this case, understand one thing. These are very trivial matters. So initially your email ID would have been angelpriya@gmail.com, hottyprano@gmail.com, bala shaitan ka sala @gmail.com. But now you are a professional, yaar. You are no more shaitan ka sala bala. Yes. Now you want to change your ID to cabala@gmail.com. So now these are small things. You can easily, change it with the help of verifying it through OTP. That's it. Okay. Now these are core fields and these are non-core fields. Now understand one thing, my dear friends, that you can apply for any amendment, but no amendment that is resulting into change in PAN will be affected by section 28. So for example, initially, let's say for example, I was KS partnership firm, right? And let's say I had a PAN for that, but now I am KS private limited, correct? और उसका भी अलग होगा PAN number. To understand one thing, that my legal name is to changed, but my PAN will also change. My legal name is changed, but my PAN has also changed because my structure, my constitution of business has also changed. Are you getting it, my dear friends? So in this case, KS partnership firm will have to cancel the RC, and KS Private Limited will have to apply for RC. So now this case will no more be covered by section 28, but this case will be covered by section 29. So there will no more be amendment, there will be cancellation, because the PAN has only changed. Got it? The PAN has only changed. So that is the issue. Okay? So those cases will not be covered under 28. Remember this is a very important point. People tend to forget it. Okay. Yeah. What is the procedure of amendment? Very simple. Firstly, is it applicable to core or non-core? Core or non-core? Core or non-core? Only core. So remember that, right? Now, once the changes happen, so for example, a partner has left, or someone has retired, or someone is admitted, or you have changed your place of business from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, Mumbai to Pune, then in that case, understand, within 15 days I will have to apply for the amendment, okay, and also submit all the required documents, right? So now I applied within 15 days. Yes, ball is in the court of proper officer will now verify those documents and give effect to that within 15 working days. If things are good enough, within 15 working days, approved. But if not, okay, if they feel that there are some details which are incomplete or incorrect, within 15 days, they will, okay, tell me, they will send me a show cause notice. Now I have to reply that obviously within 7 days, and they will review my reply, and obviously they will say approve or reject again within 7 days. So here, instead of 7 and 30 of that registration wala thing, here we have 15 days are given to verify. Got it? Yes. And आगे का फिर जो होता है ना, ये वाला scene, reply and reviewing reply will always be 7 working days, because understand, government does not want to give time to the assessee, and reviewing the reply does not take time, so which is why 7 days. So you just check Aadhar authentication wala, 7 days. When you need site verification, when Aadhar is not authenticated, 30 days. And here 15 days. You can just remember it that way. Acha, reply kitne time mein? 7 days. Review of reply, 7 days. Accept or reject. If not, deemed approved. Simple. Okay. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. So that's it. That's how we have also figured out section 25 and section 28. Right. Now we are only left with, my dear friends, section 29 and section 30. It's very late. Okay. And it can also be a little heavy, right? Because this is one of the important sections. 29 is targeted on and off, frankly, in the exam. In fact, if I'm not wrong, in the last or in the second last exam, they did ask about section 29, especially about cases where cancellation can be done by proper officer, right? So don't worry, we'll figure it out. I want you to first just do one thing today. Try to, stay awake a little bit, या फिर कल सुबह उठ जाओ फटाफट से. Wake up tomorrow, early morning tomorrow. Write the registration chapter. I would say write the registration chapter. You will remember it for life. Right? Got it? And that's the objective, right? That's the objective, that we remember it till the time of the exam. That's the objective. Okay. So that's it, friends. Okay. We will end the session today. Thanks a lot, guys. Please. It means the world to me. I will keep repeating myself. Please comment, please like the video, and please share it on your WhatsApp, on your Instagram, to your friends in those WhatsApp groups, and make people aware that, there is this sir who's trying to make sure that everyone, every C aspirant who appearing for 9123 gets 40 and 14 GST, right? I hope I'm making a difference, guys, in terms of explaining you things, and in terms of my lectures, my notes. Okay, I'm trying to make an effort, guys. Thanks a lot. MEA is Ministry of External Affairs, Shreya Prabhu. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Okay, I can see a lot of hearts flying. Thanks a lot, guys. A lot of love. thanks a lot for staying with me. Nikita, Kisarla, Harshita, Bala, Shreya, Lakshmi, right? You all have genuinely kept that spirit, and you all are helping me to deliver better. Let me tell you that. Sneha, right? Badurul, you all have genuinely helped me deliver better, guys, right? Because if I can see that there are people who are watching it and watching it for 3-4 hour longs, I am motivated to deliver. Thanks a lot, guys. Means the world to me, right? Harshita, so the thing is, I'm thinking of keeping a class in the morning because tomorrow I am going to Chennai and I'll be there in Chennai till the 6th, right? So tomorrow I'll try my level best that I conduct a lecture, and it will mostly be in the morning. Timings you will definitely see in the group. I'm trying to keep it around 7:38 a.m. I'm a little tired, so I might get a little late tomorrow. So I want to keep it accordingly. Let me see how it feels once I have my dinner and everything. You can see the timings, okay? And I'll post it within half an hour or so. Don't worry. So we'll at least wrap up registration wala part, right? And what I'm thinking actually is let's wrap up the registration wala part, right? If possible, 7 subsection 2 wala part tomorrow itself. So let's wrap up everything tomorrow except returns and e-way bill, right? Let's do that. And the only thing will be returns and e-way bill, that as soon as I come from Chennai on 7th or 8th, we will schedule a lecture again for returns and e-way bill. We will be done with that. And once I come from Chennai, I will also keep a live lecture of statutory amendments. So you can attend live, you can ask doubts in case that's what you want to ask for. Please let people know that I will be conducting a live lecture of statutory amendments. And yeah, that's it. I feel then you are all prepared. Keep solving the MCQs and keep sending me your doubts. I would love to answer them. It might take more than like 48 hours, but I'll try to resolve them ASAP. Right? Yes, debit note and credit note is also remaining. I am aware of that beta. We'll see if we can complete it tomorrow itself. Don't worry. Right? Tomorrow it's just that I'll be in a little hurry because I need to do packing because my flight is of around 5 or 6 p.m. So I need to reach by 3 p.m. So I need to make the arrangements before that. So maybe for a couple of hours we might have a lecture tomorrow, and we will try to wrap it up. I'll try my best to do that tomorrow at least, and yeah, then we can just get back tomorrow. Okay, but we can get back around 7th, finish off returns and e-way bill. And yeah, I would like to see all your faces. I will possibly think of also conducting a Zoom session and you can just talk to me, I can talk to you, we can share each other's experiences, and if there are any difficulties that you're facing for any other papers, you can tell me. And yeah, absolutely, I would like to see you guys in person. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, so coming to Chennai, guys, if you are in Chennai, please tell me. I would love to meet you. And yeah, adios amigos, hasta la vista. Have a nice day and work hard because this is your last attempt, right? Work hard, guys. Work hard. Pull it off this time. Bye. Good night, guys. Good night, Nikita.